Welcome everybody. This is Kiv, and we're gonna be doing a replay analysis, and it's a Zerg versus Zerg between Toxicity and Asoko, or however you pronounce that name. I hope I'm not offending anyone. A little bit background about me doing a replay analysis. I've always wanted to do some type of replay analysis because I hope it will improve my understanding of the game. So, we have two pretty early scouts in this game. I personally prefer early scouting in Zerg versus Zerg just because it gives you some heads up if your opponent is going for an early pool. So Toxicity began with a gas first build into a spawning pool, and we see Asoko replying with a hatch first. Now, the hatch first build, I think personally, is a little bit risky versus the earlier pool. It's really easy for you to get overrun at your natural, when, especially when it's a gas first build and he's getting speed really quickly. This means that he will have speed a lot quicker than you will. And the result of that is that he's gonna have the map and he's gonna be able to put a lot of pressure on your natural. We see a spine crawler going up, actually two spine crawlers. I guess that Asoko is also worried about the potential of early pressure. He's not taken his gas yet. I think that's something you want to do as soon as possible, especially when you're going hatch first, because banelings are so good defensively as well. An offensive spine crawler, I think this is a really good choice when you have Zergling speed and you're actually putting so much pressure on your opponent just by having a spine crawler here. I think Asoko made a really good decision to move down his spine crawler here, but he is still not taking his gas, and I find that a little bit concerning, because eventually I think if you're not getting your gas, slowlings versus fastlings, it's an uphill battle to say the least. I think Toxicity could have been droning a bit more. He's committing a lot to this attack and it's not really doing anything. The spine crawler got taken out and he has a lot of Zerglings to defend here. So I think that expanding and just droning up like crazy would be a good idea. And a macro hatchery is... well, let's just pause the game and check it from Toxicity's point of view. Okay, he has scouted no gas and an expansion with no gas. That means that Asoko will not be able to put any pressure on anytime soon. And in fact, he has not taken his gases at all. So this hatchery should be placed here, definitely. Maybe he has the minerals to actually place down another hatchery here as well, but I think that that's a slight mistake, actually. The Bending Nest is obviously a really good choice, especially since slow Zerglings, and also I think that both these players really need to just drone up a bit. Obviously it's a really intense game for Asoko. He's been under a lot of pressure, and he is building spine crawlers. He actually has 3 spine crawlers, and well, I think that speed would help a lot, and maybe wall off with 2 evolution chambers here, and just focus spine crawlers, maybe 1 here and 1 there and 1 here or so. That would be a really good choice. That would allow him to drone up a little bit more. Okay, let's resume the game. Okay, there's the other hatchery as well. And again, Toxicity is committing a lot to this aggression here, and it's not really doing that much. They are really even in drone count. Even Asoko is slightly ahead, but the banelings will do an enormous difference here. There's the gas, and let's see if Asoko actually scouted his opponent. So he doesn't know that there are any banelings. He has 2 overlords here, and he sees some zerglings, but he doesn't have a clue about any banelings. In ZvZ, something that you can do to improve a lot, or a huge amount of your play actually depends on the scouting information that you get. And in Zerg vs Zerg, it's really safe to spread your overlords. He could have 1 overlord over here, 1 here, 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 here. That would give him vision of the whole area here, and would warn him about any incoming attacks. This also makes it really safe to drone. And Toxicity has a lot of banelings, and there's just not much Asoko can do with the versus this. The spine crawlers hopefully will take some of the damage or kill enough of the banelings, but if they get in here, then he is really, really far behind. And here we go with the overlord, which actually spot the banelings. And I think that you should just, at this point, sack your lings. Just all of them. To get rid of as many banelings as you can. And then just transfer your drones. Oh, no! Oh, that's so close. Oh, yeah, he actually got a lot of banelings there, or a lot of drone kills there. I'm actually not very competent with the controls here, but he have killed 10 workers, and Asoko is about 10 workers behind, and still speed just started at around the 10-minute mark. And Toxicity is just free to drone up. Really crazy here. But still plans, or still continues with the Zergling commitment. Again, I think this is a mistake. And we see a Roach Warren coming up. I think it's a decent choice. Given that his opponent haven't teched at all, I would prefer to just stay on banelings, because you don't really... Roaches versus lings, you need a lot of roaches to to be able to handle those high numbers of Zerglings. And we see again, here's a 20 worker difference between Asoko and Toxicity. And Asoko is actually just pumping a bunch of lings at the moment, and finally got his speed. Both of these players could really benefit from better Overlord placement, to be honest, and also an Overseer is really great to just pop in once in a while, pop in with the Changeling once in a while, and just keep tabs on your opponent, see if he's building drones, is he building, does he have these double evolution chambers? Stuff like that tells you a lot, because right now they don't really have any scouting information about each other. He still hasn't scouted this base again, that he scouted like 6 minutes ago, maybe even 7, or even worse. If you're struggling in your play at the lower leagues, that's one of the reasons, because when you play like this, your opponent can just amass a large number of units of any type really that you don't know about, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed. These upgrades are obviously good since he's just massing lings, and again I think these players would be benefit from some more expansions maybe, I don't know. They're just playing kinda passive. Here's a small attack by Toxicity, which kills a lot of lings. And if he just continues to produce banelings, he's gonna win the game unless Asoko actually takes to something else. And there we go. The roaches have +1. And we see a Spire. A Spire is obviously a good choice since Asoko doesn't really have anything that shoots air. However, if you mass those amount of lings that he can actually do with this piggy bank that he saved up here, you'll need a hell of a lot of mutas to actually be able to kill them. And again we are back to this passive no scouting state, and Toxicity actually has no idea that Asoko has any lings out here, but he's smartly or wisely positioning his roaches here to block off this area. But it's not gonna be enough. He's gonna get overwhelmed by the lings. And to be honest, I think his biggest mistake this game has been taking out of his banelings. This game is, yeah, it's pretty much over now. Let's just fast forward to the end, I guess. And there's the mutas doing absolutely slightly no damage at all to the mass lings. And again we see now a nice worker lead for Asoko, and he's just massacring Toxicity at this point. Yeah, and that's gonna be GG soon enough. Just streaming these links in. And yeah. Well, some friendly banter between Toxicity and Asoko there. And some nice language as well. I would say, to conclude my first replay analysis, I'm not sure if I'm happy with it or not, but whatever. I'm here to improve and help others improve as well. So if either Toxicity or Asoko is watching this analysis, I would say that your number or some few pointers that could really help improve your play. The first and major concern is overlord placement. Early game overlord placement is so helpful. You can see your opponent streaming in from the other side of the map, and that's just so helpful. It helps you prepare your defenses. It helps you just get enough information about what your opponent is doing. If he's sending a bunch of links early game, he's not building drones and stuff like that. Also, in ZvZ, it's really nice to just wall off these areas here or maybe here. And of course, the same goes for this side with evolution chambers. And just putting a few banelings here, it will help immensely against any Ling aggression. So that's, I guess, the second advice I would give you is the SimCity defense. Just building and blocking with your buildings. And the third, and probably the largest factor in this game, is scouting. Neither player actually scouted very much at all. Both players could have lost this game because of that factor, and I would strongly recommend to anyone playing in like under high diamond that scouting is a vital part of your play, and it's gonna be a major factor in your improvement. If Toxicity knew the whole game that Asoko was not mining any gas or teching towards anything, he could have won the game at 10 minutes, 12, 14, anything. And the same goes for Asoko. If you actually scouted, well, you obviously didn't need to scout because you won anyway, but the point is, at any time he could have built enough banelings to just crush your Zergling force. And you actually knew that he had banelings, yet you continued to produce lings. I would say that is questionable, maybe. You should probably transition out of lings when you see that he's building banelings. Anyway, I think that concludes my replay analysis, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.